Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the keyboard Palmrest assembly on this HP Pavilion laptop model 15-CS1065CL. I believe I already made a few videos on this model, taking apart everything and kind of talking about all the components, but I haven't done the keyboard Palmrest assembly, so we're going to basically skip to that part and not really explain all the other internals. Anyways, first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the rubber feet here and here. I guess the customer lost this one. But anyways, I just use my fingernail. You can use a little plastic pry tool or a small flathead screwdriver. And we're just going to go in the edge and then peel it up there. It seems like it's easier towards the outside because that's where the screw is, so the adhesive sticks less. But basically, I'm just getting my thumbnail in there and then pulling, and you can see we can get that out. All right. So we'll get those two out. You can see there's 3 screws under here. Oh, these screws were already kind of loose. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and remove all these screws, okay? Keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. Oreo, stop digging in your bed. There's no food in there. Okay, so we'll get all of this out. And then we got to get the ones on the front. The ones on the front seem to be PH0, JS0. These other ones, if I didn't already mention, are PH1 or JS1 screws. Alright, if this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, so now we got all these screws out. We're going to go ahead and carefully open it. You want to do it slowly because these screws are no longer holding the hinges. And if you open it too quick, you could actually end up breaking the hinge mounts. Right, so we're going to carefully open this up. Alright, so you can see it currently has this little sticker on it. Alright, so the way you remove this, usually on the HPs, you start from the side here. So because there's no screws, you go from there. I get my fingernails in there, and then I push on the palm rest. And you can see how it popped there. Okay, and then we kind of work our way up. You want to be careful not to push on the keyboard. You don't want to break that. So we're going to go over to the vents over here. Okay, and you can see how it's kind of just popping out. All right, so there we go. Now that we've done that, we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the other side. So same thing, start from the middle, push with your thumb on the palm rest, and helps to go with both hands. So let's see here. Oh, these clips are a bit stronger. There we go. All right, then we're going to go over to the speaker portion and do the same. All right. And there we go. You gotta be careful because they also do have this like hinged spring-loaded thing there. Okay, we're gonna carefully close the laptop up. Now that we got that open, you can see it's kind of popping apart on its own. You basically want to flex the case like this, so that way it pulls the clips inwards. Okay, so just like that. And you can see how the whole back is already just popping out. Same thing, pull it up. I'm pushing down with my thumb and my palm on the outsides to help pull it inwards, just like this. Okay, there we go. And now that we got this whole back portion up, we should be able to get the front, just kind of lift it and maybe wiggle it, and there we go. There's the bottom cover off. Not too bad. Okay, so it looks like they had this battery replaced at one point. Okay, but anyways, we're gonna pull the battery out. We're gonna switch back over to the PH1 JS1 screwdriver, and we're gonna remove this battery. Okay, again, keep all the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you can damage your computer. Okay, so we got that. And these. So this one only has 3 screws. You want to check, actually 4 screws. Okay, there's one more over here I didn't notice. Again, keep all the screws in order. You don't want to mix them up because you can cause damage by putting a too long screw or too big screw in the wrong spot. All right, once you get those screws out, oh, I probably should have got a thumbnail there if I didn't already. We're going to get the battery out. I'll zoom in here so you can see better. And we're going to go under here and just pull up like that. Okay, so now we got the battery out. The battery model, if I didn't already say, is HT03XL. Okay, there's a very common HP battery. They like to use it in a lot of their different models. Anyways, again, like I said, we're just going to skip quickly over and then basically take everything out so that we can replace the keyboard, the keyboard Palmrest assembly. We do need to transfer over the touchpad, so let's go ahead and start taking things out. So we're going to flip these latches. This is a keyboard connector. There you go. Touchpad connector, same thing. Flip the latch. Keyboard backlight connector here. I'm just going to quickly go through this. You got the SD card slot, flip that latch, take that out. We got the SSD here. We're going to take this out. Okay, take that screw, it goes up slightly, and you can pull that out. All right, you got this connector here. Again, I'm just gonna quickly be doing this, so if you don't know how, I have other videos showing kind of more detailed. Okay, usually I'll avoid disconnecting the wireless antennas if I can help it, because sometimes the solder is not too good and then they can break off. So I'm gonna take this screw out for the wireless antenna, and then we're gonna pull the whole card up and then pull that out, right? You have to unguide it from these little things, and we can set that aside. I'm gonna put the screw back here just so I don't lose it. Okay, we got the DC jack charge port connector here. Wiggle and pull. All right, it's caught because of this. Get it out of that routing. Okay, and we're just gonna unroute all of this. Okay, we got the the hinge screws. We're gonna take those out. Okay, again, it's a lot of screws, so make sure that you're able to keep track of all of it. Okay, second screw over here. I think they both have 2 screws. Once you remove those screws, you can kind of get underneath. If you're not able to lift it up like this, you can open the laptop slightly and then close it back down, and it'll lift enough to get your finger underneath. I just use my fingernails because I have fingernails to do that. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention. Okay, let's go ahead and plug the keyboard back in. I should have showed this earlier, but anyways, when you have this, make sure the keyboard is plugged in. We're gonna slowly, carefully open this. Since I have this one hinge, I need to be a little careful there. But open that, and then you want to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This is important, especially since we're going to be disconnecting the LCD LVDS connector. If you don't do this, there's a very good chance you can damage your computer. I noticed they had keyboard issues. If you look at their screen, you can actually see that liquid residue. I think they probably wiped it with a wet wipe or some disinfectant wipe like a Lysol or Clorox wipe. I've seen a lot of customers do that, and they fry their keyboards. So yeah, you don't want to do that with your computer. Don't wipe it down with anything with that much liquid. If you're going to use something like that, make sure you like squeeze it, twist it, get all the liquid out before you do that. All right, again, there's 2 more screws for this side of the hinge, so we'll get that out. Okay, and then there's this adhesive stuff going across. I don't know why it needs this. It doesn't. This is for the LCD LVDS connector. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. We're going to flip this latch up to take this out. Okay, and you just unroute it over there. You do need to lift out this hinge as well, so just lift underneath, and there you go. You got the speaker connector here. I'm going to use my fingernails. If you don't have nails, you might have to use some pry tools or pliers or something to get this out, but just wiggle it like that, and there we go. Okay, people keep bothering me about my nails being long, but they're important. They make my job so much easier. They're like, there are tools for that. I mean, I know you can get tools to do that, but would you chop off your arm so you can get a prosthetic? No. Like, okay, anyways, let's go ahead and continue getting all these screws out. So the motherboard has little arrows pointing to where the screws were, so if you somehow forget, I mean, you can watch my video and then you can know where the screws go back. But if you're doing this, this is for like if you're working on other computers and you don't have a video to watch, that's how you would know where the screws go, at least on these HPs. They make it a little bit easier that way. It's pretty nice. Okay, again, lots of screws. There's another one over here. When you go to lift the board, you want to go slow just in case you forgot or missed any screws. There's another one up here. Okay, we got another one over here. Okay, and the fan screw here, and the fan screw here. Come on, there we go. Okay, and one more fan screw over here. Okay, let's fan looks like you can, yep, you can take this out without having to take the whole computer apart without taking everything else out. So if your fan is bad, easy to replace, we're going to disconnect this cable. All right, this fan's super easy to replace. I mean, sometimes if they go bad, you can repair it. This kind, you'd have to cut the little plastic things off. I have a bunch of videos showing how to repair these kinds of fans. So if you're curious or interested, feel free to let me know and I can send you a link. It probably won't be to the exact laptop model. I'll probably just send the whole playlist so you can kind of see all the different styles in case yours is different. And yeah, all right, we're just gonna get some of that dust out. Okay, so I think we got all the screws for the motherboard. Oops, let's disconnect the keyboard again. I don't even know if the power button works because their keyboard is screwed up. I mean, it probably works because that's how they were turning it on and finding that their keyboard was messed up. All right, anyways, oh, we're missing one screw here. See, you gotta be very careful because if you're not careful and you just quickly try and lift it, you'd end up destroying your whole computer. So there's that. Okay. We're gonna carefully, slowly raise this up. Make sure no cables are getting caught on it. Okay, get all the cables underneath. Slowly, slowly, slowly lift it. Just like this, and there we go. All right, so here we go. We got the whole motherboard out. We do have to get a bunch more components out of here. So yeah, we're gonna have to transfer the touchpad. We're gonna have to transfer all these little boards. Let's go ahead now, since we have this out and we have these connectors out, we should be able to lift the keyboard assembly. So since we have the hinges up to about 90 degrees, and then from there we should be able to slide it out. There we go. So now we can slide the whole keyboard assembly out. We'll set the screen aside with the wireless antenna or the wireless card out for now. Let's grab the replacement one and start transferring components over. Okay, so here's the replacement new keyboard assembly. I'm gonna have to warn them not to wipe it down with stuff like that again, because otherwise they're gonna destroy this one as well. Excuse me. All right, now we got this. We're gonna have to pull this out. This guy can be a little difficult sometimes. You might have to, there's a little tab in here. This is the DC jack charge port, okay? So sometimes you might have to pull this little tab back a little bit, but it can be tricky. Let me try with a small flathead screwdriver. Okay, so we're gonna pull this back and then hopefully it's still kind of stuck under there. Come on. Wow, this one's tough. I don't want to pull too hard and then end up breaking something. Maybe we can go from this side. Oh yeah, oh, okay. Go from this side, it's much easier. So you just rotate it so that way it's not hitting this clip. Okay, that was the trick. All right, so I'm gonna put this one into the new one here. So very simple to put it back. You just start with this side that has the clip. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm showing here. I'm gonna have to zoom out because I can't move it anymore. There's too much stuff on my desk. All right, it goes like this. You put this side in first and then you lower this down, and there we go. All right, we'll worry about routing that through in a bit. Let's see, we have this USB, the USB board. So we'll switch back to the PH1 JS1. I was using a small flathead screwdriver. There's 3 screws holding this board down. 2 and 3. Okay, then, oops, sorry. Then we should be able to lift this out. Okay, let me take a look at the other one because I didn't make sure. Okay, the enter key, everything I think looks about the same, so I think we should be good. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put the USB board back in here. Just drop it back in. Make sure the screw things line up, and then we'll get these screws back in. Okay. Just like this. All right, there we go. All right, then we got the little board down here for the SD card slot. We'll take that screw out, and we'll take this out, and then we'll transfer that over. Okay. This goes in like that. Okay, this one's a little tricky. Oh, there's this little hook thing, so you have to go in at an angle like this and then lower it down. Okay. Okay, none of this stuff needs to be pushed in by force, so again, you want to be careful while doing this. All right, so here we have, well, I guess we have to transfer the whole touchpad, trackpad out here. So we have to take out these screws as well. There's a couple or 3 screws down here, so we'll take those 3 out. That one, this one, and this one. Okay, we'll take that out. And then there's 3 screws under here that we need to get out as well. There's this clear plastic layer that we need to lift up. So carefully lift that. There was, I don't know if that was adhesive or just something sticky, but yeah. All right, 3 screws here. Do we need to switch? We need a smaller screwdriver, don't we? Okay, we need to switch to the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. Or is there, oops. Okay, no. There we go, yep. Get these 3 out. This film you have to make sure to hold up out of the way. Oh, there is adhesive right there in this towards the center. Okay. Why'd they put this clear plastic here? Is that supposed to be to prevent liquid or something? I don't know, it's kind of annoying though. Alright, we got those 3 screws out. Now, the touchpad, it doesn't fall through this way. We have to lift it up slightly and then slide it out, I think. Oh, you have to lift this up as well. So you have to lift the front up slightly as well because it's getting caught on something. And then, what is it getting caught on? Come on, let go. Is it the adhesive? Oh, the adhesive is kind of getting caught there. So pull that adhesive all the way out. And there we go. So there's the touchpad, trackpad. So yeah, if your touchpad breaks, it is replaceable. The button's just one button right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back into the new keyboard assembly here. Okay, so this replacement one also has the tape. Oh, they must have disassembled it from another computer because, yeah. Oh, make sure also that this isn't getting bent because it tucks underneath this metal piece here. Okay, so make sure that cable ends up on top. Slide that over. Okay, line everything up. All right, and we're gonna put these screws back first just to make sure everything stays lined up. I think they have little raised plastic things here and here to help line it up. But yeah. All right, so we'll get that guy in. Make sure you don't damage these cables. Otherwise your keyboard's gonna be broken again. All right. Okay, so there we go. We got those 3 screws in. You can go ahead and, I think this clear plastic is supposed to be underneath the keyboard. How was it on this one? I don't remember. Yeah, it was underneath. What? Why is this one on top? Okay, get the clear plastic underneath. Okay, just like that. Stick that back down. This is gonna roll over later. Okay, we'll get the touchpad button thing here, and we'll get this. Oops, let's switch back over to the PH1 JS1 screwdriver. We don't want to use too small of a screwdriver bit and then end up damaging the screws. It looks like they actually replaced the keyboard itself on this. I'm surprised because it's a pain in the butt to repair these things, to swap over the keyboard. So this keyboard was probably bad, and then they put a brand new keyboard in it. You can see how the plastic here is melted to hold it in place. And if you look at the factory one, how it's more perfect circles. So this is definitely an aftermarket thing that they kind of repaired or replaced the keyboard in here. So it's not the, I don't think it's the factory original HP keyboard that was in there. Okay, anyways, oops, what's next? We got the speakers, and I think that's the last piece we need to migrate over. I think everything else is about the same. Yep. Hopefully, yeah, there's no missing magnets or anything in here that, as far as I can see. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get these speakers out. There's a bunch of like cable wiring that's going all over the place, so you need to make sure to untuck it. Oh, there's actually one screw here. Usually the speakers don't have screws holding it, but this one has one screw. All right, we're gonna carefully wiggle and lift this, and then untuck it from here. Just follow these things to untuck it. Okay, and we're just gonna keep going along here, there, and then we can lift this one out. There we go. And we're completely finished with this old keyboard, so you can toss it or whatever. I'm gonna try and peel that sticker off for them because they probably want it. It's kind of cute. Anyways, let's go ahead and transfer the speakers over. So the speakers, you just gotta line everything back up again. So there are little raised things to kind of help line it up and guide it. All right, then we gotta get the cable back under all of this. So just tuck it like that, and like that. Okay, and continue going around. So there's slight raised bumps here that the cable goes on the other side here, and then this kind of just keeps it in place. All right. Oh, also the speakers, because there's magnets inside, it keeps wanting to stick to this metal plate. All right, we're gonna get this speaker lined up, drop that in. Perfect. And then we'll just continue guiding the wires through here. Okay. And you can buy the bare keyboards, but if you see how many of those melted plastic bits there are, it's a lot of work to break all of the old ones out and then melt new ones in. So keep that in mind. That's why I just bought this, I think on Amazon. It was like 30 something bucks, I don't remember. But yeah, compared to buying the keyboard, which is like 10 to 20 bucks, it's not worth, for me anyways, it's not worth my time to peel this whole thing out and then melt new plastic in there to save like $10. But I mean, if you got nothing better to do, you got plenty of time on your hands, go for it. You can instead gain 10 bucks, you can charge the same amount, or you can even, well, I would say you can charge more if they want to keep their Palmrest, but if you can replace the whole thing and it looks nicer, newer, then yeah, replace the whole thing because it's better for them. But I mean, if you want to replace just the keyboard, then I guess you can kind of get your charge more for your labor, which makes the price about the same. But if they want to, again, keep their Palmrest, or if they want a new Palmrest because it's all scratched up and damaged, then please don't put in an old scratched up one just so you can like make some extra money on labor. Anyways, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and replace or put the motherboard back in. So you want to make sure all these cables are out of the way again. Okay, so lift everything up out of the way. We're gonna get this, it goes in at an angle here, okay? And we're gonna have to slowly lower it down. Make sure the keyboard backlight cable, because it's new, it keeps wanting to go back up the other way. So make sure that it's gonna end up back on top. You see how these cables want to keep going underneath? It's kind of annoying. But there we go. Okay, slowly lower it down. Oh, it's not lining up right. Come on, go back in there. Can be kind of tricky. There are the little raised, there are the little raised plastic things here to kind of help you guide it into the right spot so that you make sure everything is lined up right before you kind of just push it down. So yeah, make sure everything is going into the right spot. The USB-C port, you need to lift this up angled kind of high to get it to slot down in there, and then slowly lower it again. You don't want to lower it too fast. It should just slowly drop into place if you have everything lined up right, okay? You can see right now it's having some issues kind of just falling down. That means it's getting caught on something, so you want to wiggle it and figure out what's getting caught. All right, the keyboard backlight cable, you want to again make sure it goes underneath. Make sure this goes on top, and this one also goes on top. Are we missing any other cables that should have been on top? I don't think so, but make sure these plastic raised dots line up. You can see how it's not. There we go. Once you get it lined up, it should easily go into place. And we should be good. All right, I have this one screw for the speaker that I didn't put back yet, so let's go ahead and put that back. Okay. And this cable, I don't remember if it went on top. I think it went on top, right? Like that. Okay, and then it went around this. So get it all hooked back into place. Get the DC jack cable back in. It's a little bit tricky, but there we go. Line that up. Get that back underneath there, and then pinch that in. Okay, there we go. So next we have the fan here. Get that in. I don't think there were any screws hidden underneath anything, so this one's relatively simple to put back. All right, so we had, I'm mixing things up. That. What am I looking at? Those are the bottom screws, then we got those 4. Okay, this had 3. So we have this screw here. I'm going to loosely fit these first because there will be a little bit of wiggle to this. And I like to try and pull the fan as close to the heatsink as possible. And then while I'm holding it, I'll tighten this down. Okay? Just like that. Okay, now that we got all of that, we got to get the other screws. And there are these little black ones here. Hopefully I'm not going to miss anything. Okay, that one. Also, if you notice, I twist the screw backwards first to feel it click into place. Once it clicks, that means it's lined up with the threads, and then you can screw it back in. It should be pretty easy to turn clockwise. All right, and tighten it down. All right, we got this screw here. Back in that corner. Then we got this little screw that was over here that I missed last time. Okay, then we got 3 screws going down the side. We got this one here. Okay, and you don't want to over tighten it. Twist it till it becomes difficult to twist, and then just twist kind of softly a little bit more. Okay, but you do want to make sure it's not too loose that it's just going to fall out. So I do put a little bit of pressure there. Okay, so now we got all of that. We're going to go ahead and reconnect the keyboard cable here. Line it up. Okay, again, this is the new keyboard cable. The wings do need to go past those little, let me see if I can show you this. Yeah, you can see how it has some raised white portions, so the wings need to go past that. Okay, then you can go ahead and fold that down. That was just folded, right? Yeah. So you just kind of push that. I'm going to push this so it has a little bit extra slack. Oops, I zoomed in too much. Push that in so it has a little bit extra slack just in case, and then fold this down. Okay, so that way when the battery's on top, it's not going to kind of pull it out. Then we have the touchpad cable. Lift that, get this back in, and then click that down. Okay, we also have the SD card slot here. They actually label this SD. This has an extra room for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. That's what this thing is for, but you do need the little connector for it. Okay, but you can add an a 2.5-inch SATA or 2.5-inch SATA SSD if you want, hard drive or SSD. Get the keyboard backlight cable in here. Can be a little tricky. You can actually lift this to grab the brown tab instead of the whole cable. That helps with moving it. All right, there we go. And then latch that down. If you notice, I just slide my finger over the top. I don't like use my fingernail to pull it over because you want to slide it over, otherwise you can pull that little latch out and you don't want to do that. Right, we got the SSD. Get that back in. It goes in at an angle slightly, clicks in, and then we'll get the screw back down. All right, what else? A battery. Okay, now we just got to get the screen back in. Oh, don't forget the speaker connector here. Okay, and then pinch that in. Alright, do we got everything here? This one has 2 slots for RAM, but they only have 1 stick of RAM in there. I would upgrade the SSD to a nicer one, but I mean, it's an SK Hynix aftermarket. I mean, what do you call? Not aftermarket. OEM. When they put it in OEM ones, usually they put like cheapy, not too good ones. So you can't just slide this in like this. Oops, let me zoom out. So we got the screen now. And you can't just slide it in because these raised portions. So you do have to like lift it to about 90 degrees, get it to where those pieces go underneath. I don't know if I can even see it. Usually what I do is I hang it off the edge of my desk to make it easier to do this. But line that up. Okay, once it's lined up, oh, sorry, you couldn't even see. Once it's lined up, then you can slowly lower this back down. You want to slowly lower it just in case this is hitting those back pieces. You don't want to go too fast and then end up bending those pieces off. All right, we're going to get the wireless antennas back routed in here. And as you can see, it has room for a double fan setup. And that is for models usually with a GPU. You see this little portion with those little silver dots? That's where the GPU would normally go. You would have a different heatsink where the metal kind of covers all of that as well. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get the wireless card back in here. We do have to take the screw back out. Okay, so wireless card goes in slightly at an angle, just like how RAM works. There we go, lower this back down, and we'll get this screw back in. You want to push the cables back out of the way. Okay. Oop, I took one of the antennas out. Okay, well, hopefully it should be okay. But that's how you get the antenna out. You basically go from the tail and pull it up, but in this case the screw did it. All right, line it back up, and then you'll know it's lined up because if you try and like move it around, it will stop. It'll hook on there. It latches. Like right now, let me see, I'm trying to grab this. You can see how it kind of moves around. So once you get it in the right spot, it hooks, you see? And now I can't move it, then you can click it down. Okay, so there we go. We got pretty much everything now. We're gonna go ahead and put the hinges down. So slowly lower it. You wanna line it up with those little raised bumps. And then you can go ahead and get the screws back in. And they actually put little arrows on it to tell you where the screws are supposed to go. Because you don't want to put it in the wrong spot, because then when you put the bottom cover back on, you're not going to be able to put the screw in. So you see there's an arrow there. Hopefully you can see. I don't know. It's pretty small. All right. So we'll get that back in. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and go to this side. Lower this hinge down. Again, carefully make sure it lines up with the little raised bumps. There we go. And we'll get those screws. Oops. Don't forget this. Okay, we're gonna lift this latch up, get the LCD LVDS connector back in, and then there was this tape here that was lining up. I don't know why they have this here. It's not really necessary, but we'll get that back in just because. Of course, make sure the cables all. Oh, okay. This is supposed to keep the cable from coming loose, I guess, out here. Okay. Well, I don't know. Whatever. So. Pull that back over, line that up, stick that back down. Okay, we'll get that screw back in. And it's gonna twist on it, so yeah. There's that. All right, then we got the other screw here, at least, oh wait, no, I think it was this one. Yep, all right, there we go. Okay, so now we got all the hinge screws back in. Now we just got to get the battery in. Uh-oh, somebody's calling me. Good thing I'm almost done with this repair. Okay, so we'll get the battery back in. Battery here. Line up the little raised bumps again. And then push that down. I like to pull that to make sure it's in all the way. And now we can get the 4 battery screws in. Then we'll get the bottom cover back on, and we should be good to go. All right. Okay. One screw here. And the other screw here. All right, and that's pretty much it. Let's get the bottom cover on, click everything back into place, and we should be good. We'll power it up, make sure the keyboard's working. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Oh, these clips, you kind of want to lift this up to make it easier to go, okay? Because it came out when you just lifted it, so it's not like really clipped in place. It's more like it hooks into place. Okay, as you can see, this kind of one doesn't want to stay in. Come on, there we go. All right. There we go. All right, then we kind of go up the sides like this. I'm pushing inwards as I'm pushing down. So same thing here. You push in towards the center. As you push down, I'm basically pulling it that way as I push. And there we go. All right. Again, if this video helped you, like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, if you can't help out that way, again, it helps a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well. Yeah, I have a company that started like showing they have OEM quality batteries. So if you're looking for that, I mean, the ones on Amazon work really well. Just make sure you get ones that are rated 5-star, 4 to 4.5 to 5 stars, and you should be good. But if you're looking for something like OEM quality, I'll put a link to the battery in the description below. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get the last few screws. We'll power it up. I might have to plug it in because sometimes these computers don't like to start up once you pull the battery out, because it also acts as the CMOS, BIOS, RTC, real-time clock battery, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so let's continue getting all these screws back in. Then we'll go ahead and fire it up and see. Okay. All right, all the screws are back in. Let's go ahead and flip it over and give it a try. And then we'll also try and transfer over their sticker, all right? Okay, I do see the power light on the button, on the power button coming on. Let's see if I can get their sticker out here. So we have this. I'm gonna use this little plastic razor blade here. I'm just gonna try and slice it off. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's saying CMOS was reset basically, and then it says to press enter to reboot, so we'll press enter. You can see all the liquid on there, but yeah, so the enter key worked for sure. All right, let's try and get this sticker off. Okay, once I get past those, I think we should be able to peel the rest. Hopefully it won't stretch. I don't know if it's going to stick. The adhesive doesn't feel very strong. But I guess we'll find out. Okay. So there's that. There's the old one. We're not going to transfer the Intel sticker. I don't think they care to have that one on there. Oh, it does stick really well. Hopefully the edges will still stick down. I'm not putting it in the same spot as before. I'm making it so, oops, sorry. I'm making it so the corners kind of line up more. Hopefully they don't care. To me, it looks nicer that way, but all right, so it looks like it sticks. Okay, and it's actually on. So the keys work. Right now, you can't really see, but now that I press it, all the keys work. Before, it would not work on a whole bunch of the keys. So that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully it helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's shut this thing down, and all right, let's drop this. All right, bye.